The creative inspiration behind a shoot like this for me is I've been in the extreme sports world and I love photographing it. I had seen people working with smoke bombs and really wanted to try it, and I thought incorporating smoke bombs and the color and the contrast with the extreme sport of downhill mountain biking would be a really cool and fun concept. Difficulties working with smoke bombs are numerous and plentiful. The biggest thing is once you set off the smoke bomb, it seems like the wind kicks up right away and then just blows all the smoke out of the scene. And so thinking through that, we ended up shooting plates or additional images so that we can use the smoke from those images in our final image itself. So in the lighting for this shot, there was two things I wanted. One was a nice dramatic soft light on the biker, and then I wanted to light up the smoke in a way that made it a little bit more intense. The first one is a 39-inch deep octabox, and it's pretty high and pointed down. And what that's gonna do is create texture within the shirt and the helmet and things like that. Then behind the smoke, I have the ELB 400 with an HS head, and that has just a standard reflector on it just to kind of disperse light and get that smoke lit up. We are using the ELB 400 paired with the D-Lite RX4. They are both high sync capable. It makes it easy for me to be able to move my shutter speed up and down and not worry about the lights syncing up to the camera. So the lighting for this shot was really pretty fun. I had the idea to take a C-stand with an arm up to the top of this pile of rocks or a little cliff and hang it over the edge so that the light was coming down across the rider. So we put a D-Lite RX4 with a 39-inch deep octabox on it, and then to give a little bit of fill on the side, we put a small strip. In the end, it gave that kind of cool natural feel from the lighting coming above. For the lighting on this image, we wanted to give it dramatic, but also light up the dirt that was going. So in order to do that, I had a 39-inch deep octabox on camera right. Then we had an ELB 400 with a standard reflector on it, kind of shoved into the trees. And so as he was coming, I was timing it so that all the dirt would kick up and we'd fire the light and all the smoke would light up behind him. So it pulls him away from the background and gives a little more drama to the shot. So in the lighting for this image, I wanted to have a lot of contrast. We didn't put any modifiers besides the 7-inch reflectors onto two heads. So I had an ELB 400 on camera right and then the D-Lite RX4 on camera left. I was shooting all the time because the wind had picked up a lot. So we just made sure that we had the smoke everywhere, and he ended up jumping through smoke, but certainly not as much smoke as we have in the final image. Everything blends together really seamlessly in the final. Being a composite photographer, I'm always taking into account what additional plates or additional images we're going to need for our final image. In this case, one of the big things was making sure that the bike and the rider was really clear and there was no motion, because cutting that out in post-production can be really, really difficult. So using the high sync in this case is really important. And so we're shooting at 2,000ths to the 6,000ths of a second on this whole shoot to make sure everything is frozen. It really comes with time, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes. With the athlete, the hardest part was really going back up the hill every single time. So he's going down a jump, jumping, getting off his bike, walking it back up the hill. What we did was I had radios on set, and he had a radio up at the top of the hill. So we'd make sure he had enough brake, and then he would signal us when he was coming, and we'd set off the smoke bomb, come down, get our shot, I'd shoot my smoke frames, and then he would go back up and we would do it again. When you're working with sports in general, I would say one of the biggest challenges is making it read well on camera while still staying true to the sport and the technique itself. Especially with mountain biking, where the technique, we kind of have to tweak a little bit to make sure that we're getting a good image. So a lot of that just comes down to communication and saying, this is what I need, how can we make this happen, but still feel true and realistic for you?